Some of us are organized by nature, like right out of the womb, while the rest of us are complete and total messes, especially when faced with the task to keep your space organized. Today, I'm going over some tips on how to be more organized at home, or what I like to call organization for beginners. So let's start organizing. Welcome back to Martin Made TV, inspiring life, home, and style. Welcome back to Martin Made TV. Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. I'm Kim from martinmade.com. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. This channel is all about home decor, interior design, productivity, organization, all those good things. So we'd love to have you hang around here with us. All right, organization. Where do we start? I would like to say it's simple, but not always. But I will say that my first tip, which is probably the easiest to implement, is to use bins and baskets. It's really all about corralling those little things that kind of get out of hand, putting them all into one space. And what it really does, or what I like to say that it does, it hides the mess in plain sight. So imagine you have a ton of papers or a lot of paperwork all over your office desk. As long as you get a nice bin or organizer or basket or something, you can shove all those papers right into that bin. No one's the wiser, unless of course they open the bin, but they won't get that far. The point is just to, like I say, corral all the little messes into one spot, keep them covered, organized, out of sight, out of mind. This applies to just about any area of your home. Another place I like to use bins and baskets are definitely in a child's room. All those Lego pieces, nobody's sorting them by color, size, and all of that. A Lego basket. Put them all in the Lego basket. Leave them there. They're good. Sticking with kids' spaces, my next tip, or the number 2 tip that's really easy to implement in your spaces, would be in your drawers, or how you organize your clothes, especially in drawers. I picked this up probably when I was a new mom about, oh my God, almost 11 years ago. Where you have all those teeny tiny baby clothes, and it's like, how do I store this stuff? You know, you don't want to take up a whole closet with all this little tiny baby stuff, but how do I store it in drawers where I know what's what? What I decided to do, instead of stacking all of the clothes one on top of each other, I kind of flipped them. So I switched them around so that you could see everything in order or in line. Now, this is something that actually recently took the world by storm. I say recently, maybe in the past 2 years or so, because Marie Kondo came out with a book about tidying up, the life-changing magic of tidying up. I think that's the name of it. And she also came out with a new Netflix series. So if you're really on this organization kick, especially in the new year, I suggest you check that out on Netflix, or that book. Audiobook is good as well. But in there, she does talk about stacking your clothes in this way, or lining them up as opposed to stacking. It really is extremely helpful because you'll know what's what. As soon as you pull out the drawer, you know where the red t-shirt is, you know, because it's right there and it's staring at you. Or if, like me, you have like 15 different white t-shirts, you can get a visual of which one's which. I don't have to take out every single one, open it up to look at it to see which one is the one that I want for the day. Now, referring back to Marie Kondo, she has a specified method of the way you should fold the clothes and everything. I don't get into it like that. Just as long as you can fold it and you can see it and it's all standing up and it's lined up nice and neat, that's what I'm going for. The next tip I have is for labels. Label everything. Get a label maker if that's what makes your life easier. Or sometimes you can actually use like a paint marker to mark on the outsides of jars, maybe in your kitchen pantry. Now what this does, not only does, putting them in the bins and baskets help with corralling all of these different items, it actually helps express to the rest of your family members where everything goes. If you live with other people, it's easy for them to see where a specific item goes. Everything has a spot, everything has a space, and there's no confusion about where to put it back. And creating a system like this helps the task of staying organized become easier and easier. It becomes natural. But of course, just like with any new system, it can take some time and some getting used to. So leave a comment down below if you live in a house or apartment or space or whatever with other people who would not catch on to this trick or this tip of using labels to put everything back where it belongs. The fourth tip is really simple. It's using your vertical space. And I find the easiest way to do this is to use command hooks. They don't damage your wall. They don't put holes in them, and if they're applied correctly, they won't damage your paint either. But it's an easy way for you to kind of stack items up the wall. There's a different kind of command hook or style of command hook for every need possible. It lets you, like I said, get the most out of your vertical space. My fifth and last tip is to use underbed storage. I feel like this was an eye-opener for me because for a long time I wasn't utilizing that space. It's a space that no one sees. Nothing's happening down there but like dust bunnies. So why not utilize that space? You can find actual containers that are created to go under the bed. I have a few under the bed in my master bedroom right now. Really, it's a great use of the space that otherwise would go unused. I'm sure there are other areas in the home that we can think of that really go unused. It's kind of like wasted space. But if you get a container, put a lid on it, stash some things in it, put a lid on it, store it, you've increased your livable space. Now let's recap. The 5 areas or the 5 tips where we can be more organized and start organizing for beginners using bins and baskets is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to fold the clothes in your drawer in a more efficient way. Tip number 3 would be to use labels. Tip number 4 is to use your vertical space. And tip number 5, also utilizing wasted space, is to store things under your bed. And that's it, my 5 tips for organizing at home for beginners. Please like this video if you found these tips helpful. Also, please leave a comment down below if you have any questions on anything I covered today. Please don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.